friends, I'm Akash and this is your News of the Week for the week of February 13th to February 19th, 2022. I'm Akash Cody and let's get right into our stories. And we begin with an update on coronavirus. Now, as the Omicron wave passes by, the graphs are beginning to fall, although the numbers are still very, very high. We're down to 2 million cases per day worldwide. That's 1 million better than what we've seen in the weeks before. We're seeing 109,000 cases per day here in America. Also a decrease from the gigantic numbers that we were seeing beforehand. 10,000 deaths worldwide and 2.4 thousand deaths here in America per day. Now, as we are seeing 78,000 hospitalizations per day, again, all of this is in line with the graphs falling after Omicron. But as we're seeing this slowdown of all these graphs, and as the 78,000 figures we're seeing for hospitalizations stays the way it was, it turns out that a new variant of Omicron, or subvariant of Omicron, called BA.2 might actually be more severe and more contagious than Omicron ever was. And meanwhile, there are scientists figuring out right now whether a fourth dose of COVID-19 is needed, a second booster shot. And alongside all of this, the Surgeon General of the United States, Vivek Murthy, announced that he and his immediate family all tested positive for coronavirus on Friday. So that is what's been going on with your update on coronavirus. So let's take a look at our next story, which is about Russia and Ukraine. That's right, the tensions are higher than ever. The President of the United States, Joe Biden, says that he is convinced that Russia is going to be invading Ukraine. And he definitely has plans to either prevent this from happening in the first place, or if Russia still goes on the attack, to prevent them from taking over the country. Now, Russia denies that they're doing any of this and says that they are just doing there and putting their troops on the border to make sure that nothing goes wrong on the border in the first place. This is sort of what Russia's trying to say. They've continued talks with the West and the United States to hopefully try and get things going and try to dispel the worries of a potential invasion. But this has been going for perhaps weeks now. It's a major, major story. The Ukraine, by the way, has been preparing ever harder as the country braces for a potential invasion by Russia. And as well as this, Ukraine is also slightly annoyed at the West and at the USA for intensifying the situation more than it already is. So it seems that the more tense the situation gets, the more likely we might be to a potential invasion of Ukraine. So let's take a look at our next story, which is the Olympics. Now, the Olympics have started early in February, and they're going to be ending tomorrow on February 20th. So as we're nearing the end, I thought it would be nice to take a look at some of the achievements that have made this Olympics wonderful and some of the controversies that have plagued this from way before it even began. So let's take a look at the achievements. And we begin with the medal count. Norway is leading the pack, breaking a record for the most amount of gold medals ever won at any Winter Olympic Games by any one country. 15 gold and 34 overall medals. It is a true record. Next up in second place is Germany with 11 gold and 24 medals overall. China is third with 9 gold medals and 15 overall, and China actually managed to inch out the USA yesterday, so that's pretty big. And the USA, by the way, is at 8 gold medals, 24 overall. So that is the medal count. So let's take a look at some of the individual achievements that we've seen this Olympics. We begin with Eileen Gu, the American-born Chinese skier who managed to become the first action sports athlete to gain 3 medals in one Winter Olympic Games. That is amazing right here. She earned 2 gold and 1 silver medal, and that is absolutely remarkable. Next, Johannes Thingnes Bø is the Norwegian athlete who managed to get Norway's 15th gold and clinch the record for Norway. Johannes Thingnes Bø won the mass start biathlon, and therefore he's helped make a record. Now, that is all the main achievements that we've seen this Olympics. So let's take a look at the controversies that have plagued this Olympics. And the primary thing is, it's in Beijing, in China, and there have been many cases and allegations of human rights violations that have plagued China for years now. And so a lot of people are saying that China's using the Beijing Olympics as a source of propaganda, and this is the sort of thing that critics are saying regarding this Olympics. Meanwhile, China says that that's not the case, that there are no human rights violations, and that they're instead pretty much choosing to focus on the Olympics, which kind of furthers the critics' cases, but we'll see. It's a very complicated subject with multiple different sides, but that's what's been going on. As well as that, athlete surveillance and censorship are major topics that have been going around during this time. As well as this, we're also taking a look at Russia, because back in 2019, the IOC, International Olympic Committee, officially banned Russia from competing in the Olympics for a total of 4 years, or fair enough, for any major sporting event. So instead what's going on is that the players who haven't doped are actually going for the Russia by itself. So the way this works is, instead of the whole Russia team going all at once, we're seeing the people who have not doped, because most of the Russian Olympic team had doped and they'd been found out. So starting in the 2020 Olympics, the Russian Olympic Committee has only gone on with the people who have not doped. But even then, there are still so many allegations across the 2020 Olympics and 2022 Olympics that Russia was still bypassing all the restrictions and cheating by doping the whole time. This is the sort of doubt that Russia is now being faced on, and it's for what they've done before, so it's a major problem for what's been going on. Now, let's take a look at our final story of the week, which is Super Bowl 56. It took place on February 13th, so let's take a look at the scores. And we see that the LA Rams have won the Super Bowl 23-20 against the Cincinnati Bengals. This is actually the second time in history that the team of the city which hosted the Super Bowl actually got there and won it, which is absolutely incredible. And the last time this happened was, well, last time, Super Bowl 55 last year. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won 31-9 to the Kansas City Chiefs. And guess what? This all happened in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida. So this year it's taking place in SoFi Stadium, which is located in Inglewood near LA. And this is actually the second time the Rams have won the Super Bowl. The first time was in 1999 Super Bowl, and that was when they were still based in St. Louis as the St. Louis Rams. So that's what's been going on with the Super Bowl, and that is all of your news of the week for the week of February 13th to February 19th, 2022. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon in another News of the Week. Goodbye.